Alright, so hey everyone, Fat Libertarian here. As you know, the markets have been just completely pwned the last, was it 2 weeks? And of course S&P did the downgrade of the United States AAA credit rating. Um, it wasn't really much of a downgrade. I mean, they're making such a big deal about it, which, with the contradictions of this administration, it's pretty exhausting trying to track what matters and what doesn't. Because a few days ago, they were threatening the GOP by saying, you're threatening our credit rating. Today, or yesterday, President Obama came out and said that the credit rating drop didn't matter. So a few days ago, when he thought he could blame the GOP for it, it mattered. Now that he's being blamed for it, it no longer matters, according to the White House. However, at the same time, there are also Democrats, if you look on the interwebs, blaming the Tea Party for the downgrade. I thought it didn't matter. This is the soulless existence of this party. This is what happens when you hitch your wagon, so to speak, to the Keynesian economic ideology. When you do that, and let's face it, the reason they hitch their wagon to that is because it just happens to be the ideology that allows them to spend as much as they want. Okay, and so it's important to understand that because it's a flawed system. It's a system. Really, it's a system based on debt and inflation. I mean, that's really what it's based on. Inflation is a way of dealing with debt. I mean, that's kind of the way it works. So it's a flawed system. It's not going to work. It's going to fail miserably. And it simply can't work in reality when you think it through. If you can try to put yourself in this president's situation, he has these beliefs of, he believes that wealth redistribution is a form of morality. That is, he believes in collective salvation. He believes his salvation is tied to stealing money from other citizens who can afford it and giving it to those who can't. However, when you steal from me to help someone else, I may not be able to afford health care. So now he needs to steal from someone else to get me health care. It's almost like we're going in circles. So of course we are. We're running out of people. You can only steal from so many people, and then it becomes stupid. So now we're running out of people to steal from. Here's the thing. If I'm the GOP, gosh, it would be a tough political move. I almost wish Barack Obama had a Democratic House and Senate so he could get his tax hikes through, because they're not going to work. And I don't mind if the American people learn things the hard way. You know what I mean? In other words, if you poll the American people and they say, "Yeah, we want tax hikes on the rich. We're indebted. We need the government needs more money," and then I'm like, "Okay, take it, have it. Here you go. Just wait a year or two. Oh, hey, those tax hikes didn't work. What? He didn't have anything else. He's tried stimulus, hasn't worked. They did bailouts, hasn't worked. We're going to try tax hikes, raising taxes, not going to work. It'll probably get less revenue or about the same. It probably won't change anything. And point of fact, actually, now that the market has dropped so much, they're going to lose a lot of the capital gains taxes they had programmed in. So it's a failure philosophy. It's not going to work. It can't work. Any philosophy born not of thought, intellect, but is born of a disdain for a competing ideology. In other words, it's almost like they exist only because they hate what the GOP believes. And so they sort of just come up with these, they just throw this shit up against the chalkboard and see what sticks. And this is what they came up with. That's the shit they came up with. Keynesianism and printing money. But, so a lot of it's been revealed. The absurdity of this administration, the absurdity of Keynesianism, the absurdity of progressivism in general is starting to be revealed, and it's starting to fall apart. Indigestion. Michael Moore, in fact, came out and said that the president should arrest the head of S&P. And so what we have to do, again, you have to put yourself in their mindset. Gutless, soulless, principleless. Anything and everything can be justified because there are no real principles. There are no rules. You can do anything you want. And this is what I was making a reference to in my last video as the economy was unraveling and the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ were plummeting, hitting the fucking earth. You could hear in their voice. There were at some point in the afternoon I heard someone talk about speculators, and they were starting that thing where they start blaming speculators. And this is a really scary, a dangerous time for the world, because there are some people out there who make bad choices and they support those bad choices, and they want to punish people who try to adjust and respond to their bad choices. And that's a prime example of what speculators are. Speculators, if they fail, they fail. They lose money. So it's not like it's without, it's not like they're doing it for evil, nefarious purposes. It's a way for the market. In other words, there are people on the other side who are speculating. One side thinks, one side goes long, one side goes short, one side wins. It's a way to kind of figure out what is and what isn't in the market. See, but those who have created the interventionism into the market and want it there, they don't want people actually using their brain and coming to decisions, because it might cause problems. But of course, it's problems that they've created and that they've advocated for. Reality. So in the video, in my past video on the Dow, I was talking about how maybe we should just outlaw the selling of gold because it's hurting the stocks. Oh, I mean, that's how these people think. So now Michael Moore seriously is advocating. He's seriously advocating for the president of S&P to be imprisoned. Let me give you an example here. S&P is a free company. It's an independent business that it's not a government agency. It's an independent business that sells essentially their information, which is going to be their rankings of the credit rating worthiness of various businesses and countries. So no one's forced to get their information. But see, that's how progressives think. Again, soulless, heartless, gutless, no principles, no foundations. Anything's possible. You choose to buy S&P's information. You choose to take it as meaningful or you discard it. The White House does both. It treats it as meaningless when it's convenient, and it treats it as important when it's not. Or it is, well, yeah, you get that. So, but of course, they're an independent company. They have, you have a choice. You can choose to take their information and use it for if you want to or not. But see, someone like Michael Moore, and this is the reality of it, I believe they actually innately they actually hate humanity. They don't trust humanity to choose for themselves what is right or wrong. So they want to choose for you through force. They don't trust people. They hate people. They're dirty. They're stupid. They don't do what's right. They ruin the whole fucking planet. That's why the global warming thing is always on the left. Because it fills in that void, that anger, that hate, that distrust of humanity. It's a very depressing thing to even think about. But I think the number one thing we need to talk about, the number one thing that libertarians need to focus on, is the use of force. And how we always need to make sure we're on the right side when it comes to the use of force. We should never, ever use force. And if everyone in the world understood that one concept, I think this world would be a much better place. Much better place. No taxation. No debt, because there would be no taxation. Think about it. All the problems we have today stem from force. And we use force so we can interact all of our forms of interventionism. So that's pretty much it. As the economy keeps unraveling, Ron Paul's becoming more popular. As Barack Obama and his policies start to see the light of day and we start to see the reality of those policies, Ron Paul is becoming more popular. He makes the other GOP candidates look like losers. They don't have any substance. They just give you talking points, and they can't offer any substance of their own. They can only attack Obama. See ya.